Woo! Yeah! Woo! Karina's here. Well, welcome everybody. Good morning. It was just 6 weeks ago that I think I saw a lot of you when we launched the Portland Fire Reborn. And here we are today, and we are so excited to welcome Vana to Portland. So we've talked about this a lot. We have an opportunity to do something great in Portland. And I can speak for everybody when I say when we all met Vana, we knew she was exactly right for this big vision in Portland. So the good news is fan excitement has continued. Over 13,000 reservations for tickets. And a bunch of us were out in the community this weekend at a street fair, and the energy, the excitement around the team is growing. And you've heard us all talk about the fans, right? It's the thing that makes Portland so special. So Portland, it's a city of bridges. And these bridges connect an amazing set of communities, very diverse communities. Innovators, creatives, entrepreneurs, and these fierce individualists that make up Portland. But what the bridges also do is they bring everybody together. And there's a collective pride in Portland. And that's exactly what this Portland Fire team is going to do as well. Like the bridges, everybody will come together to support this team. And we have a long history of women's sports in Portland, dating all the way back to the fire in 2001. We have an ownership group, you've heard me talk quite a bit about this ownership group, that is investing in Portland. They're investing in innovation, and they're investing in inspiring this entire city to get behind. And as you all know, we have a huge vision to be the global epicenter of women's sports, and we are well along our way. So today, we're going to focus on Vana. Personally, I'm so happy to have somebody by my side now and to introduce her. We are getting somebody that knows basketball, that's excited to come to Portland, and I know you'll all be just as excited as I am as you get to know her. So, Vana, welcome to Portland.
Thank you, Claire.
You're welcome.
And hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a lot of people throughout my journey that have supported me and opened the doors for me. So I want to take a moment to look back and just thank all my colleagues and mentors at the NBA League, at the Chicago Bulls, at London Lions, and most recently the Valkyries. Like I'm forever grateful to Joe Lacob, Kirk, Jess, and Johanna for bringing me out and open the doors to the WNBA League, and just the opportunity to join the Golden State organization and learn from the best in the business. I also want to thank my family, my friends, who have supported my passion and chasing my dreams, which meant jumping countries, jumping continents, jumping jobs, and have always been there for me, no matter the time zones, no matter the distance. They were always there for me when I needed them. And now to the new chapter. Super grateful to Raj Sports, to Batal family, and for Lisa, Alex, Mike, Claire, for inspiring me with your vision during the interview process, and now trusting me with this important role. I'm incredibly excited to join this passionate team that doesn't shy away from, big goals. And I'm excited to start building this franchise from ground up. I've learned throughout the process, the interview process as well, that this is not just about basketball, and it's not just about launching this new franchise, but it's also about reigniting the fire, connecting with the community here, which is super passionate about not only women's basketball, but women's sports, about building new bridges with our partners and inviting new fans that might have not joined our mission yet. But most importantly, we want to create an environment for athletes where they can not only survive, but thrive. So I'm super, super excited to get to know Portland a little bit better, go out into the community, and share this passion for women's sports and women's basketball. Well, thank you.
Okay, let's go. Woohoo! Yeah.
We'll open it up to questions.
I'm sure we have
So is he on me?
Hi, my name is Demi. I'm a reporter with Portland Business Journal. Vanya, I was just curious, obviously you spent some time with the Valkyries. They're a relatively new team to the W. What experience do you think you bring as working with one of the newer teams in the W to the Fire?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super grateful for the year that I had with the Valkyries. I've learned a lot about just building the culture, how to set up, the foundation of the team. Also with the London Lions, it's mostly about focusing about bringing good people in, but I also don't believe in copy paste. I think every city is different, every community is different, so I think we need to kind of carve out our own path and just build our own destiny. But I'm sure the experience will be tremendous for me going forward.
Devin Haskins with KGW News. With the CBA still being negotiated and players saying that they don't think that they'll reach the deadline by the end of October, just kind of how do you feel that that impacts the whole process of the players, getting players to come here, plus any news on, I know you just started or are starting soon, but also the coach and what that process will look like?
Okay, I will tackle the coach first. That's definitely one of my first priorities when I start this job. It's going to be crucial that we bring someone, that's going to be a leader on court as well and kind of help us build out a strategy and the vision for how we're going to look on the court. And then regarding the CBA, we're all in the same boat. We don't know what's going to happen. So there's a lot of unknowns. For us, I think it's best to plan as if the negotiations are going to be done on time. So we're planning for the expansion draft to go forward, similar to last year in December, and then free agency probably February. If that doesn't happen, then we're going to have to pivot and just be ready for the unknown.
Brenna Green, Point Six. Just what does your ideal roster look like for you?
The one that can win the most games.
There we go.
They told me to be simple.
Sean Hyken, Rose Garden Report. Vanya, do you have any kind of sense of how quickly you're going to build out? Besides the coaching part of it, how quickly you're going to build out your own front office staff and kind of what you want your staff to look like, how big you want your staff to be, stuff like that.
If there's one thing I also learned from the Valkyries is everything is fluid and things don't go the way you planned. So, of course, the hiring the head coach is going to be our priority, and then helping to build out the BOps team and analytics team to help us with scouting going into the expansion draft. But you never know about the timeline. People have certain obligations that they have to kind of clear out their calendars. So. Hopefully before the expansion draft, but I don't want to give myself a deadline that we won't be able to follow.
Joe Freeman with the Oregonian. I wonder, your philosophy on scouting talent players, are you more analytics driven? Are you more eyeball basketball driven? Is a combination? Can you just speak to how you evaluate players and how you go about, massing a roster?
Yeah, I would definitely say more eyeball driven, just because I guess in Europe, we're not so analytically heavy just because of the lack of resources. So that's where I learned when I entered the Bulls. This was where the analytics came into the fold for me. So I definitely now look at both sides, but it's always where you are, what are your resources. But I feel like eye test never fails, and it's all about the volume of basketball you've seen. And I've been lucky enough to travel all around the world, so just seeing basketball in different continents, different levels of competition, I think that it's my biggest strength. But yeah, analytics definitely, it's something we're going to focus highly on as well in our team.
Brendan Potts, World Exposure Report. When you're looking for a head coach, you talked about looking for a head coach. What sort of vision are you looking for a head coach, and what kind of culture are you looking to establish in looking for candidates?
Definitely looking someone that's going to be a strong leader with a huge basketball IQ and will empower players to make decisions on their own. I'm looking for someone that will build an environment where players will be encouraged to be problem solvers, not a coach that will try to give all the solutions to players. So that's kind of my hope to go into that direction.
Kyra Buckley with Oregon Public Broadcasting. When you look to building your coaching staff, you have the blessing of doing it at a time during a lot of expansion for the WNBA. I'm wondering what some of the challenges are in attracting that coaching staff to a team here in Portland. We know that Portland is still a little slow to rebound from the pandemic economically, and it can be challenging to attract talent here. What do you see as your challenges and your goals?
I don't see challenges. If you would see my phone and how it's blowing up with people raising their hands to being head coaches or assistant coaches, I don't think, I think our challenge is going to be filter out people and actually selecting the right people for our organization. So, yeah.
Bill Orm with the Oregonian. Vanya, along the lines of attracting talent, can you describe what it was that attracted you to this organization? What you said you were inspired kind of by the vision from Lisa and Alex and Claire. What sold you on this being the right place for you to continue your career?
It's all about how they envisioned investing in women's sports, not only in basketball, but also that they're, the only owners that are having now twofold portfolios with the soccer team or soccer, let's stick to soccer. Soccer team. And, how they envisioned the practice facility and having a crossover in performance centers, studying female athletes in terms of injuries, performance. That's something I'm super passionate about, like my mom will know, working with me. And they've also mentioned about being innovative and doing things differently. I've noticed in sports, a lot of the times we get stuck in this cycles of doing things for 20 years the same way and not being able to kind of step out of our comfort zone, or step out of our context. And I think that's what they're excited about and try to pushing those limits in female sport. And that was mostly what attracted me to taking this role.
Hi, Vanya. Lauren Duletsky here from Click Clack Media. As someone who was born and raised in Portland, I'm very passionate about the community here. And in addition to your prolific career in leadership roles across basketball, I was really struck in researching about you how much you've done for youth basketball. And I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your commitment to the youth basketball programs here in Oregon, how that's going to help build a huge community here.
Thank you. That's also my biggest passion, being in youth basketball. And as you know, from my background, it's been privileged that with the NBA League, I got to work all around the world with youth athletes. So that's definitely going to be one of our focus, that we reach out to the community. I'm sure the soccer/football team has an academy already, correct? So we're going to try to kind of do the same on the basketball side. I think it's very important that we inspire young generations, boys and girls, to kind of go into sports, whatever there is, and they just try to stay away from the screens and the social media, and just, keeping them in sports and trying to get them making decisions. I'm huge in players and athletes making decisions on court, because I feel like that translates into life and all the life skills that you can learn through that. So I'm huge advocate of that.
For Claire, about 2 months ago, hiring a GM for a WNBA team probably wasn't on your radar of things you were going to be doing this summer. Just what has this process been like for you, and what have you learned about hiring a GM?
Well, first of all, we got somebody great, so that's the first step. And I feel great because I'm not having to answer all the questions now today, and everybody's focused on Vanya, which is great. And no, I think we're going to make a great team. And I think to a couple of the questions, what I've seen is how much interest there is in coming to Portland and being a part of the Fire. And I've seen how much interest there is in Portland for the Fire. I'm 6 weeks in, technically, and the energy, the excitement, it's fantastic. And so I think hiring is still going to be a priority. I think both for Vanya, definitely for me as well, but we're finding great talent, and we're getting great people to come to Portland. So, and we're going to hire locally, so I'm excited.
Claire, where are you guys in terms of staffing? Like, how well staffed are you at this point relative to where you need to be by the start of next season?
Yeah, I think we're right where we need to be. We're like about 300% farther along than we were 6 weeks ago, which is good. How about that? We're making progress. I think we got like one of the top heads of ticketing and ticket services in the entire industry that came here. Kyle is the audience, worked at the Liberty. We are accelerating on that. We've got a big focus on that. We've got Vanya in place. So I think we're right where we need to be, and very excited. But we still have more work to do on hiring, but we're making progress.
You're still technically the interim president. You got a tattoo that I believe is very not interim. Have you had conversations about making this permanent? You've made some comments that made it seem like you're kind of in this for the long haul. I just was curious for your perspective on your runway here.
I'm definitely in it for the long haul, but I haven't really had enough time to have any conversations about the word interim. But I think the tattoo kind of says it all. But no, it's good. I mean, I'm all in. I mean, I'm a Portlander. I mean, when I retired from Nike, I said I wanted to work in women's sports and do something great in Portland, and this is ticking all the boxes, Bill. So I'm very, very excited about being here. So.
Is that on the?
No, the book is. Oh yeah, the book's happening. Oh yeah, the book's happening. It's actually almost done. So. Yeah, very excited.
Back to the eyeballs and evaluating talent. I guess 2 questions. What are the traits and qualities you look for in a player when trying to build a roster? And then just your experience in international basketball and what you did at Golden State, your experience there, will that continue to be a primary focus when you build this roster, international talent?
What we did in Golden State. When I evaluate talent, I first look at the character of the person, who they are as a person, and I stick to that no matter how good a player they are. If they're not a good teammate, someone that will come in and work hard, they're off of my list. And then, it's all has to align with the head coach we're going to have. Like, what's the strategy and the vision he or she will have on the court, and the front office needs to make sure to kind of align with that vision. So for me to sit here today and tell you what that's going to be like, I would lie to you. I don't have that answer yet. And then, what was the second question? Sorry.
Just your international experience and the impact that might have on the roster.
For sure. I think my advantage is that I've spent years in Europe. You have highly competitive leagues in EuroLeague, Eurobasket, French League, Spanish League, so Turkish League, where all the best talent plays there. So just having that volume of games and knowing the players and the coaches, I think it's hugely beneficial. I know the teams here are catching up as well. A lot of teams have scouts now in Europe. So yeah, I feel like coming from there, just having a relationship with players and coaches, it's probably an advantage that we're going to have.
We can take 2 more.
This one would probably be more for Claire. You weren't here when they broke ground on the practice facility, but is that, how's the progress going on building that? And is that going to be ready to go before the start of the inaugural season?
Yeah, thanks, Sean. As we've been saying, the practice facility is going to open in phases, and we're excited about phase 1. And hope to have that open when Thorns begin their season. But we'll definitely be in phases, and but we're excited about it.
What does phase 1 look like? What will be open during phase 1?
That's a good question. I think for sure, progress is being made on the Thorns side. I don't know that I haven't been out there recently. We haven't actually broken ground yet on all of the buildings, but we're making progress. So, but we'll be ready.
Your start date's September 15th.
All
How do
right,
you
1
manage
second.
finishing?
Vaughn, and then Guillermo, and then we're going to have to close, okay? Thank you.
Oh, I was going to say, your start date's September 15th. How do you manage finishing up with the Valkyries, but also becoming GM and starting your job here? Are you focusing more in Golden State or doing both at the same time?
Definitely doing both at the same time. I go back to San Francisco today, and we'll make sure I hand over everything that needs to be handed over. So I'm going to support the team throughout the playoff run, and then it's going to stop probably. But definitely, I'm going to make sure I leave with great relationships and no stones unturned, and then definitely focused here already, mostly with thinking about who the head coaching candidates could be. They also allow me to take a week off, so I'll take a break and literally a reset and come back, refreshed and with a clear mind.
Hi, Guillermo Mota with K2 News. Welcome to Portland. One of the talks this year has been the Moda Center, and I hate to look so much in advance when you're still hiring, and this is a question for either of you, but does it linger in the back of your head, the future of the Moda Center? I just had a conversation with the mayor of Portland, Keith Wilson, that he wants to reimagine the Moda Center. how much will you have an input on restructuring the Moda Center, and is there a possibility that you could play elsewhere past 2030?
Yeah. And right now, we're focused on the first season, which is going to kick off next May in the Moda Center. And I think right now we really haven't looked past that, and we hear all the same things you hear about it, but our focus is next May in the Moda Center.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes! Woo!